That was so exciting. Wow. I would definitely try that one day. Our next session's Cengiz Kocak, world record holder and wingsuit base jumper, who currently holds two world records, participating multi-weight jump from a cliff in Norway and a bridge in Russia. He is now the only base jumper who has been invited for both world records. He is the first and only person to do a minaret jump and a live jump from Galata Tower. Not only that, Cengiz also holds the record for jumping from the highest altitude with no oxygen. Cengiz is now here with us. Let's get ready to embrace your fear.
Thank you, Fergie. Hello from Ölüdeniz, Turkey. My name is Cengiz Kocak. I am professional base jumper and wingsuit flyer. I am also the headmaster of Babadağ Mountain and cable car system, which has 6 takeoff areas for paragliding, speed flying, and wingsuiting. Today is Global Wednesday, and I am going to talk about my second shadow, which is called fear. Before I begin, I can't go without saying that wellness for me is also embracing my fear, which is one of my biggest motivation also. Whenever I meet people anywhere in the world, as soon as they know what my profession is, the first thing that they tell me is not how smart I am. It is how brave I am. My typical and usual response is, I'm not brave, and I don't have that much courage that they assume I have. What I actually have is not courage. It is an irresistible curiosity for the things which I am not familiar with. If the word unfamiliar needs to be defined, it is what we don't know, what we haven't experienced, what we haven't learned, and what we need to understand to enhance our own being. It is also safe to say that I have a fear of not having fear. Fear gives us the task that has to be completed, as Carl Jung once expressed the importance by saying, where your fear is, there your task is. Sometimes fear is there to help us find deep sense of meaning of our own existence. Sometimes fear is right there for us to understand and re-evaluate our limits. Sometimes fear is there whispering to our ear that something is wrong, and we mostly think that the wrong one is the source of our fear. Instead, the wrong one is our perception, which has been formed by presumptions, preconceptions, and lack of questioning. If we question enough, freedom and lightness of understanding will shine a light on the pitch black darkness of fear. Then, with that illumination of understanding, line of our own limits will be seen crystal clear. Why do we have to know what our limits are? The answer is simple: to push them forward, to understand where we are and why we are here. Because not knowing our own limits is also not knowing who exactly we are. If you have any idea about topography, then you know. Knowing where you are is also the first rule of finding your way on the map. It is to know where you are. Otherwise, map is just a piece of paper with tons of lines that have been drawn meaninglessly. That's why you have to know where you are, because it is not possible to move forward without knowing our place in space and in time. Those limits that we have to put to ourselves not only dictates us where our world ends, but also suppress us to live a life unexamined. Our fears are our limits. They are the borders of our own world, created by us in a planet spinning in the universe with 225 billion big galaxies, 7 trillion dwarf galaxies, and 30 billion times trillion stars, and still expanding. So our limit is our starting point. It is the border of our mind and body. It is the dome of our temple. The higher it is, the farther and wider the horizon. Our limits are what our world is, how our life will be, and more importantly, who we are. Not knowing who exactly we are makes us take our life and journey for granted. Fear is the source of our inspiration. People all around the world are talking about searching the meaning of their life and not finding it, thinking they look everywhere with great diligence and passion. Let me tell you a story about a guy who lost his ring. One day, early in the morning, when he was searching for his ring on the street, another man who was passing by has seen him and asked him what he is doing. He says he has lost his ring and he is searching for it. The man who is passing by wishes him luck and goes away. Then later in the same day, the very same man was passing by from the very same street and has seen the very same guy on the very same spot still searching for the very same ring. He says, "It looks like you haven't found it." And the man who is searching for the ring says, "No, I haven't." The man who wants to understand the situation and asks him where he lost his ring, and he tells him that he lost it in the basement of his house. The other one is surprised because the ring has been lost in the basement of his house and he has been searching for it on the street the whole day. Then he asks him why he doesn't look for it in the basement, the place that he has lost it. He replies, "Because basement is dark." It's like fear. Fear is dark. So to find what we are looking for, we have to search for it where it is supposed to be. I want to repeat it again. So to find what we are looking for, we have to search for it where it is supposed to be. For me, the meaning of life and the breath I take is at the other side of the fear. It is the source of our inspiration and also the place where I can find what I'm looking for. The key is fear, and embracing it is unlocking the door between where we are and where we want to be. If you ask me how one can embrace the fear, I don't agree with the popular saying like face your fear, etc. What I can tell you is, don't escape from the things you are not familiar with. Try to understand what you don't know about it and dedicate your life to understand all of them. Repeat that new habit continuously. As saying suggests, you are what you repeatedly do. Don't forget that luck is the skill that can only be acquired by practicing. And why? Because fear is a fake proof about danger, but looks like real. And I also would like to remind you a saying from my namesake, Cengiz Khan. It's also called Cengiz Khan. It's also, sometimes it's called Genghis Khan. Don't do it if you are scared. Don't be scared if you are doing it. So I examine and question. So I fear. Therefore I am. Happy Global Wednesday, guys. Now back to you, Fergie.